Holy shit. He said what?
Trevor Engelson's, Meghan's first husband, previously had this operation, which would mean, of course, that she was unable to give birth to a child herself.
She will find a way to bounce past him to some other taker who might actually just love the guy. She will take her royal kids, who can still go by prince and princess, and find the billionaire.
The only person who can really clear this up outside of Meghan herself is Trevor Engelson, who until this point has kept a total dignified silence, despite the fact that Meghan treated him so appallingly, even sending back their engagement ring via the post.
Meghan Markle is reportedly losing it behind closed doors, and not just metaphorically. After a decade of silence, her ex-husband Trevor Engelson has finally spoken out, and what he revealed is shaking up Meghan's carefully crafted image.
That information came direct from Meghan's ex-husband, Trevor Engelson, via an intermediary. And obviously Trevor Engelson is a very successful TV producer. He now has his own family. He's very happy. He hasn't spoken on the record.
He's moved on. He has put Meghan behind him. He probably is not interested in people bringing up his past relationship. He has 3 children now with his new wife.
Insiders say she's in full-blown crisis mode, shouting at her team, threatening legal action, and demanding to know why no one stopped the story from surfacing. For someone known for tightly managing her public persona, this is nothing short of a meltdown. Trevor didn't just talk, he dropped a truth bomb. And according to whispers coming straight out of the Montecito mansion, Meghan's entire PR facade is starting to crack. Is the world finally seeing the version of Meghan that's been kept off camera? Stay with us.
He must have been so devastated at the time with the way that he was treated, but actually he dodged a bullet. He has his dignity. He's still working in the industry. I mean, we obviously know via Tom Bower that Meghan Markle returned her engagement ring to Trevor Engelson via the post, but the fact that you're actually so blatant in terms of the fact that you want this famous royal, and specifically you want Prince Harry, because you know my reporting on Meghan Markle's early life in London, Angela, made it very clear that she was looking for a celebrity.
Meghan Markle didn't just get upset. She reportedly went nuclear the moment she saw the headline. According to insiders, after reading the quotes from Trevor Engelson's explosive interview, Meghan burst into a private meeting, slammed the door so hard it echoed down the hallway, and launched into a furious tirade. Witnesses say she unleashed on her press team, accusing them of dropping the ball and failing to keep Trevor silent. One staffer claims she shouted, "He was supposed to be silenced forever." How did this get out? A moment that left the room in stunned silence. Things got so tense, some staffers quietly slipped out to avoid the storm.
That Meghan Markle really did expect Harry to be a billionaire when she met him. She was incredibly disappointed to find out he's only worth a couple million, and she's gonna have to actually work and hawk these jams and jellies and dog biscuits to have the lifestyle that she wants.
She married for money. It's very clear she bagged the elephant. She was thrilled. She became a, quote, princess.
Well, you can...
It was planned from the beginning. She denied being interested in the royal family, which she totally was. I know someone who knows the ex-husband who said she had a vision board with Prince Harry on it.
Before they met?
Yes, and she wants to
That's
pretend.
impressive. You got to admit that is impressive.
She nailed it.
To Meghan, this wasn't just bad press. It felt like betrayal. And by midday, her legal team was already swinging into action, prepping for battle. Multiple media outlets were hit with cease and desist letters, warning them to back off from publishing any more of Trevor Engelson's statements. Behind the scenes, Meghan was reportedly pushing her lawyers to draft a gag order, despite the fact that Trevor never signed a non-disclosure agreement when their marriage ended. Legal experts are raising eyebrows, suggesting her aggressive response says more than any official statement could, because if Trevor's claims were false, she'd simply deny them. But this legal scramble, it reeks of panic. It suggests Meghan isn't just worried about what's already been said, she's terrified of what could come next.
Megyn Kelly reveals that Meghan Markle married for money, that she planned it all from the beginning, and the vision board with Prince Harry on it was revealed to her by someone who knew Trevor Engelson.
But this woman is nothing but a publicity whore. It's a term of art. We broke the news that she had Prince Harry on her vision board when she was younger. That was her goal, #goal, to marry Prince Harry. So it was all about getting the title. She's done that now. now she's just stuck with this depressed ginger who has absolutely no family, no friends, and no money. This was not hashtag part of the plan.
Her fixation on controlling her image has always been front and center. But this interview, it's punched straight through that carefully curated shell. And in typical fashion, Meghan reportedly sees this not as fallout, but as a full-on personal attack, not just from Trevor, but from anyone daring to challenge her narrative. But Meghan's not just blaming Trevor. She reportedly believes the call is coming from inside the palace. Sources close to the Duchess claim she's convinced that the timing of Trevor Engelson's interview isn't a coincidence. She's told confidants she suspects royal insiders deliberately orchestrated the release to sabotage her next big public project. In her mind, the firm is still pulling strings to ruin her reputation.
He studied him. Now, if you do study him carefully, you can see he's very vulnerable, and you can see that he's yearning to get married. He told me that he really wanted children, but the time hasn't come yet, but he really wants to be a father because he loves being with children.
I mean, she flirts openly with other men. I remember when she was at that tennis match, looked like she was flirting with Serena Williams' husband, like with her skirt, and just how she just looks at men. Harry, it doesn't matter.
One friend even revealed Meghan sees Trevor breaking his silence as proof of a broader conspiracy, but not everyone's buying it. Critics argue this is classic Meghan, spinning the narrative to paint herself as the perpetual victim, while sidestepping the real issue, her own messy past. And now, she's gone into retreat mode. In a surprising move, Meghan has canceled multiple upcoming appearances, including a high-profile women's business summit in LA and a planned charity Q&A session in New York. PR insiders say Meghan's team is in full damage control because emotionally, she's in no state to be on stage right now. They claim she's painfully aware that the very first question from the press will be about Trevor, and the truth is, she has no answer ready. But this sudden retreat from the spotlight, it's backfiring.
She's already gotten the benefit of her bargain with Harry because she got the title. That's what she wanted. She wanted to be world famous. She wanted the title. You remember when Harry was single, he was the elephant. He was the one, the most eligible bachelor on earth. You could be a royal, you could become world famous overnight, you could live in a castle, you could have access to the crown jewels, you would be a princess. My God, yes, he could have had his pick.
Instead of appearing composed, Meghan's silence is being read as something more damning: guilt. Critics haven't held back, saying if she truly had nothing to hide, she'd face the controversy head on. But right now, she's nowhere to be seen. And then there's this, one of the strangest claims yet. A former staffer has come forward alleging Meghan has a private wing in her Montecito mansion jokingly referred to as the Rage Room. It's said to be soundproof, with furnishings that let her scream, throw, and cry in total isolation, without a single sound escaping. Just this week, Meghan reportedly shattered 2 vases and kicked over a lamp in a fury after seeing her name trending under hashtags like Shach Trevor Tells All and Shach Meghan Exposed. Whether or not the infamous Rage Room truly exists, one thing insiders agree on: Meghan is unraveling and fast.
Meghan is living a life that she's winning and she's doing all these great things, but the reality is not that. The reality is she's a joke. It's embarrassing at this point. It's like, oh my gosh, for real, Meghan, you did that? You're gonna keep doing this? I mean, wow.
But while Meghan's been melting down behind closed doors, Prince Harry's reaction has been noticeably different and quietly revealing. Insiders say he's visibly rattled by the backlash and deeply embarrassed by Trevor's bombshells. He's been keeping his distance, spending more and more time in separate parts of the Montecito mansion, away from the chaos. One source shared, every time he thinks the storm is over, something new erupts. And this time, it's from her past. It's something he can't spin or shield her from. And perhaps most telling of all, Harry has reportedly warned Meghan to stop blaming the palace for everything, an indication that even he is running out of patience. The emotional distance between them, according to those close to the couple, is growing. It's a striking contrast for someone who built her post-royal identity around women's empowerment, mental health, and authenticity.
Netflix will, allow their relationship with Prince Harry to expire, but they are holding on tightly to Meghan to work with Meghan in hopes that if there is a divorce, they would get the exclusive and pounce on that access to Meghan because they know that that's the next big thing that would sell.
Trevor's tell-all has done more than stir up drama. It's made people question everything. He painted Meghan as emotionally distant, calculated, and obsessed with chasing fame, a version of her that clashes hard with the victim narrative she spent years promoting. And now social media is erupting. Thousands are posting that they finally see the red flags they once ignored. Even some of her longtime supporters are hitting pause, wondering just how much of Meghan's carefully polished image is real and how much was always just performance. Her past interviews, podcasts, even her documentaries, they're all being rewatched with a more skeptical eye, and her credibility, it's taking serious hits. But if Meghan thinks this storm is passing, she might want to think again, because insiders claim Trevor isn't done, not by a long shot.
In this case, about whether you think the birth was real, whether you think there was a surrogate, whether you think Meghan was wearing a moon bump, the fact is, Harry and Meghan lied. Buckingham Palace lied on their behalf. There was a complete cover-up over the birth of Prince Archie.
Sources close to him say he deliberately held back the worst parts of their marriage out of respect. But now he's considering a second interview or even a full memoir to finally set the record straight. For years, he stayed quiet while she rewrote their story. That silence might be ending for good. A friend of Trevor didn't mince words. Now it's his turn, and he's got receipts. That chilling statement has reportedly thrown Meghan's legal team into panic mode. They're scrambling to block any future media appearances or book deals Trevor might be pursuing. But here's the catch. Without a formal NDA, their hands are basically tied. What's even more striking than the legal drama, though, is the massive shift in public perception.
She wasn't interested in Harry actually meeting her father. They didn't even meet him before they got engaged. Like, I think Meghan definitely did not want her father there to mess up the narrative that she had told Harry about her early life. I think that we could definitely infer her mom was completely willing to go along with the narrative, and that's why she was there.
Meghan, once hailed as a bold, modern outsider challenging the royal machine, is now facing a wave of skepticism and even open contempt. Hashtags like Stagsharf, Trevor told the truth, and Chacha, Meghan manipulated me are trending worldwide, and thousands are applauding Trevor, not just for speaking up, but for how he did it. Many say his quiet dignity carries more weight than any of Meghan's carefully produced Netflix specials ever could. As one viral tweet nailed it, Trevor was married to Meghan for years and never said a word until now. That silence was class. What he just revealed, that was truth. This isn't just another tabloid headline. It feels like a bigger unraveling.
It just seems like Meghan just does not care about her husband. She doesn't care about how he is doing. He seemed, to not be doing very well. And Meghan is concerned about her career, her as ever, and, what is important to her.
Maybe Harry's no use to Meghan anymore. Maybe the divorce rumors are actually true. Maybe there's no money in the settlement for the divorce. Wow, let's make a new Netflix series and story out of Harry's demise. Ooh.
Meghan has built her post-royal identity on carefully curated narratives, portraying herself as the misunderstood outsider, the victim of powerful institutions, and the voice of those unheard. But Trevor's story doesn't come from the media or the palace or anonymous royal aides. It comes from someone who knew her before the titles, before the cameras, before the world knew her name, and that's what makes it land with such force. Her silence now doesn't seem strategic. It reads as suspicious. Her legal threats, less like confidence, more like desperation, and the public image she spent years perfecting, it's starting to unravel in real time.
You just see Meghan becoming more and more into the social media, more and more about her as ever and talking about launching new products and, doing all these things. But yet the story around Harry is completely different. That in itself tells you how Harry is doing, okay? And how Meghan just doesn't care.
Sure, Meghan rose to global fame on a mix of charm, talent, and opportunity, but if Trevor's account is to be believed, the truth behind that rise might be far less flattering. A pattern is starting to emerge, one of manipulation, reinvention, and emotional abandonment. And with more voices rumored to be stepping forward and public patience wearing dangerously thin, Meghan Markle may soon discover that the truth she worked so hard to suppress is the very thing that could unravel it all.
Royal family, you should be so thankful this woman wanted to leave, because she's not going to bring any good to the branding of royal. She's going to downgrade it to a level of ghetto, and that's what it is. This is just bad.
If you've been following Meghan's story and always felt something just didn't sit right, you're not imagining, you're not alone. Trevor Engelson's truth isn't just a headline, it's a crack in the foundation of a narrative that's been carefully maintained for years. We were shown the empowered duchess, the silenced victim, the misunderstood outside, but now we're hearing from someone who saw it all, before the crown, before the cameras, before the curated chaos. So now the question isn't whether Meghan's story was polished, it's how many more truths are still buried beneath the surface. How many people have been silenced, discarded, erased? Trevor finally broke his silence. The question now is, who's next? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Here on Star Spotlight, we're breaking down the testimonies they tried to bury and bringing you the stories behind the spotlight. Stay tuned. The truth has a voice now, and it's not Meghan's.